in the picturesque coastal town of Santa Cruz, California, where the Pacific waves kiss golden beaches and the mountains stand as silent sentinels. A chilling mystery unfolded that captured the nation's attention. This quiet haven, a beloved retreat for Silicon Valley's elite, became the scene of a dark and twisting tale involving Forrest Hayes, a high-ranking Google executive whose life had been a portrait of success and innovation. But beneath the surface of his seemingly perfect world, secrets lurked that would soon spill over into tragedy. It was November 22, 2013, a day like any other in Santa Cruz, but for Forrest Hayes, it would be his last. The man known for his brilliant mind and a career that had taken him from the assembly lines of Detroit to the cutting-edge labs of Google X was found dead under mysterious circumstances on his own luxurious yacht named Escape. The irony of the yacht's name would soon become apparent, as it turned out to be the final escape for Hayes, not into relaxation and family time, as he might have hoped, but into the arms of death. As the news broke, the tranquil town was thrust into the spotlight, its serene image overshadowed by the ensuing investigation that read like a script from a noir thriller. The police, piecing together the last hours of Hayes' life, discovered that he was not alone on his final night. The yacht's sophisticated security system captured footage of a mysterious, dark-haired woman with distinctive tattoos, who was later identified through a digital trail and a shadowy online profile. This woman, Alex Tichelman, a 26-year-old aspiring model with a troubling past, had met Hayes through a website known for connecting wealthy men with younger women. Their encounter, meant to be a secret held by the whispering waves of the Pacific, turned deadly with the introduction of heroin, leading to Hayes' untimely demise. As investigators delved deeper, they uncovered a web of deception, drugs, and a desperate attempt by Tichelman to erase her presence from the yacht as Hayes lay dying. The video from the yacht's cameras, which captured every harrowing moment, became the cornerstone of the case, painting a stark picture of indifference to human life. The saga of Forrest Hayes and Alex Tichelman raises unsettling questions about the hidden lives of those who seem to have it all, and the dark underbelly of Silicon Valley's culture of excess and secrecy. This story, gripping and tragic, serves as a stark reminder of how quickly the veneer of a perfect life can shatter. For more in-depth coverage of this case and other intriguing true crime stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned as we unravel more mysteries and explore the shadows lurking beneath everyday life. Your subscription helps us keep bringing these stories to light. On the fateful evening of November 22, 2013, Forrest Hayes did not return from his seaborne sanctuary, the opulent yacht dubbed Escape. Concern mounting with each passing hour, his wife, fraught with worry, finally reached out to their yacht captain, a call that would initiate the unraveling of a grim tableau. The captain, entrusted with the care of the vessel that symbolized Hayes' success and passion for the sea, made his way to the marina under the cloak of night, unaware that he was about to stumble upon a tragic scene. As the captain stepped aboard the Escape, the silence of the yacht was unsettling. The typically vibrant atmosphere of the luxury vessel, often filled with the laughter of Hayes and his guests, was now eerily still. In the main cabin, the captain found Hayes lifeless, a scene so surreal it seemed plucked from a somber narrative. Nearby, an ominous clue hinted at the tragedy's cause: a single, visible injection mark on Hayes' arm, stark evidence of heroin's lethal embrace. The discovery sent shockwaves through the Santa Cruz community and beyond, casting a shadow over Hayes' storied career and seemingly idyllic life. The police were summoned, and as they stepped onto the yacht, they entered a world far removed from the tech utopias of Silicon Valley. The scene aboard the Escape painted a poignant contrast. Here lay a man who had reached the pinnacle of professional achievement, yet his final moments were marred by a starkly different reality. Investigators began to piece together the puzzle of Hayes' last hours, but the yacht offered few overt clues. No drugs were in plain sight, suggesting a scenario either carefully concealed or hastily altered. However, the presence of 2 wine glasses suggested a shared moment before tragedy struck. This subtle hint propelled the investigation in a new direction, turning the focus towards identifying who else had been aboard the Escape that night, unknowingly stepping into a mystery that would captivate and horrify in equal measure. This discovery phase of the investigation not only illuminated the darker sides of a life lived in the public eye, but also marked the beginning of a deep dive into a world where the lines between legal boundaries and moral ambiguities blur. The serene setting of the yacht, anchored quietly in the Santa Cruz harbor, became the grim stage for a narrative that would expose the vulnerabilities even the most successful individuals harbor, reminding us that behind the facade of success, personal demons and dangers often lurk. As the dawn of November 23rd approached, the Santa Cruz Police Department launched their investigation into the mysterious death of Forrest Hayes. The yacht, still moored in its tranquil berth, transformed from a luxurious retreat into a critical crime scene. The forensic team, meticulously trained for such somber tasks, boarded the yacht with a clear demise that led to the tragic demise of one of Silicon Valley's most prominent executives. Upon their arrival, the investigators were met with a scene that seemed almost deliberately poised between normalcy and disaster. No drugs were visible, a detail that immediately signaled to the experienced detectives that this was no ordinary overdose. The scene was eerily pristine, too clean for an unexpected death, suggesting that someone had carefully managed the aftermath of Hayes' overdose. However, it was the presence of 2 wine glasses that hinted at a more complex narrative. These glasses, set aside on a polished countertop, spoke silently of a shared encounter, a social interaction that had presumably taken place before the tragedy unfolded. This evidence suggested not just the presence of another person, but a social dynamic that might have played a crucial role in the evening's catastrophic turn. Each glass held the faint residue of wine, a forensic gold mine that promised traces of DNA and possibly the fingerprints of the mysterious second party. The yacht itself, named Escape, was a treasure trove of high-tech equipment and luxurious amenities, a stark juxtaposition to the grim reality of its owner's fate. The investigators noted the sophisticated security system installed throughout the vessel, an ironic twist given that the very technologies meant to ensure security would now serve to uncover the secrets of Hayes' last hours. It was this system that had captured crucial footage, a silent witness to the entire evening's events. As the detectives delved deeper into the investigation, they meticulously documented every aspect of the scene. They photographed the layout of the cabin, the positioning of the furniture, and the personal effects scattered throughout the space. Each item was catalogued, with the potential to either unravel a mystery or deepen the enigma surrounding Hayes' death. The forensic team also collected samples from the wine glasses, the cabin surfaces, and any other areas that might yield fingerprints or DNA. These samples would be critical in confirming the presence of the unidentified second person and possibly linking them directly to the events that transpired on the yacht. Simultaneously, the detectives began canvassing the marina. They interviewed dock workers, fellow boat owners, and anyone who might have seen Hayes or his companion on the fateful night. Each interview was approached with the hope of piecing together Hayes' final hours, whom he was with, what his state of mind was, and most crucially, if he had seemed coerced or troubled. As the sun rose higher over Santa Cruz, casting light over the grim scene at the marina, the police faced the daunting task of cutting through the veil of normalcy that hung over what was now a potential crime scene. The investigation was just beginning, and each clue uncovered on the yacht promised to lead deeper into a labyrinth of personal secrets and silent witnesses, each holding the key to understanding the tragic death of Forrest Hayes. As the investigation into the death of Forrest Hayes intensified, attention turned to the yacht's sophisticated security system, which had captured critical footage on the night of the tragedy. The high-definition cameras installed throughout the escape were designed to provide security and peace of mind, but now served as the silent narrators of Hayes' final hours. The footage, meticulously reviewed by the forensic team in a darkened room back at the police station, revealed the presence of a dark-haired woman with distinctive tattoos, marking a significant breakthrough in the case. The video showed her boarding the yacht with Hayes, her demeanor relaxed, suggesting familiarity and comfort with both Hayes and the setting. As the detectives watched the footage, they observed the interactions between Hayes and the woman. The cameras captured them moving through the yacht's luxurious spaces, their behavior casual, yet interspersed with moments that suggested a deeper, more complex relationship. The presence of the wine glasses seen earlier in the investigation was corroborated by video of the two sharing a drink, laughing and conversing in what appeared to be a carefree manner initially. The turning point in the footage came later in the evening. The cameras recorded the woman preparing a substance on a small portable kit she carried with her. Her movements were practiced and unhurried as she expertly handled the heroin and syringe. The footage chillingly showed her administering an injection first to herself and then to Hayes, who appeared compliant, if somewhat apprehensive. This part of the video was particularly harrowing, capturing the rapid deterioration of Hayes' condition post-injection. The importance of the CCTV footage cannot be overstated. It provided the investigators not only with the identity of the woman, but also with undeniable evidence of her involvement in the activities leading up to Hayes' overdose. Her actions following Hayes' distress were perhaps the most damning. The cameras captured her reaction as Hayes slumped over. Rather than seeking help, she began a methodical cleanup operation. She wiped down surfaces, collected her belongings, and at several points stepped over Hayes' prone body as if ensuring no trace of her presence would be left behind. This footage was a goldmine for forensic analysis. The investigators were able to extract still images of the woman's tattoos, which could prove pivotal in identifying her. Each tattoo was clearly visible, providing distinctive markers that could be cross-referenced with law enforcement databases and sources from the dark underbelly of the city's nightlife. The review of the CCTV footage ultimately shifted the trajectory of the investigation. It transformed a mysterious overdose on a luxurious yacht into a calculated incident involving a second party whose actions before and after the critical moment spoke volumes about her potential culpability. The detectives now had a clear lead to pursue, a lead that would delve into the depths of the criminal underworld and uncover the identity of the enigmatic woman who last saw Forrest Hayes alive. With the crucial CCTV footage in hand, the investigation team was determined to trace the identity of the mysterious woman seen on Forrest Hayes' yacht. They leveraged every piece of digital evidence available, knowing that the tattoos and her appearance could be the key to unlocking her identity. The first major breakthrough came when the detectives expanded their investigation to the digital realm, scouring social media, public records, and online databases for any match to the woman's distinct features captured on video. Their search led them to various online platforms where images and profiles could be compared against the visual evidence from the yacht's cameras. One platform stood out during their search: seekingarrangement.com, a dating website known for connecting wealthy individuals with younger companions in mutually beneficial relationships. Given Hayes' stature and wealth, it was plausible that he might have used such a service to meet companions. The police created a profile to gain access and began searching through user profiles, focusing on those in the Santa Cruz area and those who matched the physical description of the woman in the footage. After exhaustive cross-referencing, a particular profile caught the detective's attention. It belonged to Alex Tichelman, a 26-year-old who identified herself as an aspiring model. Her profile included several photos that clearly showed the distinctive tattoos visible in the yacht's footage. The similarities were unmistakable, and further scrutiny of her online activity confirmed frequent interactions on platforms catering to high-end escort services and wealthy clients. Tichelman's profile on seekingarrangement.com was revealing not only in terms of her physical appearance, but also through her listed interests and the type of relationships she sought. She portrayed herself as well-traveled, sophisticated, and seeking relationships with mature and successful men. Disconnections suggested a direct link between her and Hayes, giving the police the leverage they needed to delve deeper into her background. The digital trail did not stop at her dating profile. The detectives pulled phone records, email exchanges, and other online interactions that might have occurred between Tichelman and Hayes. They discovered emails exchanged via the platform that indicated they had planned to meet on the night of Hayes' death, confirming that their interaction was premeditated and not a chance encounter. With Tichelman identified, the investigation took a significant turn. The police now had a name, a face, and a profile that matched the woman seen administering heroin to Hayes on the yacht. Armed with this information, they moved to the next phase, securing evidence sufficient to bring her in for questioning and possibly charging her in connection with Hayes' death. This digital footprint not only identified Tichelman, but also helped to piece together her possible motives and her actions before and after the death of Forrest Hayes, painting a fuller picture of the circumstances that led to the tragic night on the escape. Forrest Hayes was a figure who epitomized the Silicon Valley success story. Born into a modest background, he climbed the corporate ladder with a combination of intellect, ambition, and the kind of innovative thinking that the tech industry prizes above all. His journey through the tech world was marked by significant achievements and pivotal roles at some of the most prestigious companies in the industry. Hayes started his career at Apple, where he was involved in developing groundbreaking technology that would lay the groundwork for future tech innovations. His work caught the attention of other tech giants, and he soon transitioned to Google, containing a high-ranking position that placed him at the forefront of the company's most secretive and ambitious projects. At Google X, the company's elite innovation lab, Hayes worked on what the company called moonshot projects, ventures so advanced and ambitious that they pushed the very boundaries of science and technology. Despite his professional successes, Hayes' personal life was more complex and enigmatic. Behind the public persona of a tech executive, Hayes led a secret life that involved relationships with women he met online, particularly through dating platforms like seekingarrangement.com. These interactions were kept discreet, a necessary precaution to maintain his standing in both his professional and personal spheres. Unwilling to cross the threshold of a private life, Hayes led a secret life, a particular vitality. Hayes's foray into online relationships was driven by a quest for companionship that his hectic life in Silicon Valley could not satisfy. This aspect of his life was compartmentalized, known only to a few close friends and, perhaps, to the women he met through these secretive liaisons. His profile on these dating sites presented him as a wealthy, successful individual seeking relationships that were mutually beneficial, offering companionship and support in return for intimacy and the pleasure of his company. This dual life exemplified the paradox of modern existence in the high-stress, high-stakes world of top-tier tech industries. On the one hand, Hayes lived a life many would envy, a beautiful family, a dream home, and a career that most could only aspire to. On the other hand, his secretive online activities revealed a layer of loneliness and a search for something that his day-to-day life lacked. This dichotomy was a testament to the complexities of personal fulfillment in the age of immense technological advancement. Hayes' tragic end aboard his yacht, a vessel that symbolized his success and freedom, underscored the vulnerability that even the most successful individuals face when their private desires lead them into dangerous waters. His death brought to light the hidden facets of a life that many thought they understood, but perhaps never really did. On the fatal night aboard the yacht Escape, a serene evening quickly spiraled into tragedy. The video evidence obtained from the yacht's security system provided a silent yet stark narration of the events that unfolded. It captured Alex Tichelman, who had met Forrest Hayes through the online dating platform seekingarrangement.com, engaging in activities that led directly to Hayes' demise. The footage revealed a chilling sequence. Tichelman, with a practiced ease that hinted at familiarity with the drug, was seen preparing heroin. The preparation was methodical. She handled the syringe and the heroin with an assurance that was both clinical and dispassionate. With the scene set against the luxurious backdrop of the yacht, the juxtaposition of opulence and the deadly drug was stark. As the evening progressed, the video showed Tichelman administering the heroin to Hayes. His trust in her appeared implicit. There was no hesitation as he allowed her to inject him. However, the calm soon shattered. Moments after the injection, Hayes began to show clear signs of distress. His discomfort escalated rapidly, his body reacting adversely to the heroin. What followed was a series of actions by Tichelman that spoke volumes about her priorities and state of mind. Despite Hayes' visible and escalating medical emergency, Tichelman did not seek help. There was no frantic search for a phone to call emergency services, no attempt to administer any form of aid. Instead, her response was calculated and self-preserving, and the security footage showed her moving around the cabin with a chilling composure. She began cleaning up the scene, wiping down surfaces and collecting her belongings, including the drug paraphernalia. Her movements were deliberate, ensuring that any evidence of her involvement was erased. Remarkably, she was seen stepping over Hayes' body to complete her cleanup, her actions methodical and detached. This footage not only documented the tragic events, but also underscored a profound betrayal of human decency. Tichelman's failure to call for help, her immediate concern with concealing her involvement, and her disregard for Hayes' welfare were all captured in stark detail by the cameras. This video became a crucial piece of evidence, illustrating not only the mechanics of the drug administration, but also Tichelman's cold response to the dire consequences of her actions. The details of this fatal night painted a harrowing picture of negligence and indifference, framing the subsequent phases of the investigation and shaping the legal proceedings that would follow. The tragedy on the yacht Escape was not just a result of the heroin injection, but was compounded by the callousness shown by Tichelman in the moments that mattered most. Following the revelation of the chilling video evidence, the investigation into Forrest Hayes' death intensified. The police were determined to apprehend Alex Tichelman, the woman captured on camera injecting Hayes with heroin. Knowing her frequent use of the dating site seekingarrangement.com, where she first connected with Hayes, investigators formulated a plan to use the same platform to set a trap. A sting operation that would lure her into the open. The sting operation was meticulously planned. Investigators created a fake profile on seekingarrangement.com, carefully crafting the persona of a wealthy tech entrepreneur seeking companionship. Similar to the profile of Hayes, the bait was designed to attract Tichelman, appealing to the same motivations that had presumably led her to meet Hayes. Police monitored the site closely, waiting for Tichelman to bite. Sure enough, it didn't take long for Tichelman to respond. Drawn by the profile's allure, she engaged with what she believed was a potential client. Over the course of several interactions, she agreed to meet the supposed wealthy entrepreneur for a date that would mimic the fatal night aboard the yacht with Hayes. The correspondence between Tichelman and the undercover officer built a rapport that culminated in plans for an in-person meeting. The rendezvous was set for a luxury hotel, chosen to maintain the illusion and ensure that Tichelman felt comfortable and unguarded. As Tichelman arrived at the hotel, expecting to meet a wealthy client, law enforcement was ready. The hotel room was equipped with surveillance, and officers were strategically positioned to intervene. When Tichelman entered the room and the initial greetings were exchanged, the signal was given, and officers swiftly moved in to make the arrest. Tichelman was taken into custody without incident. The shock and realization of the trap were evident on her face as she was read her rights and informed of the charges against her. She was charged with prostitution, given her solicitation through the dating site, and more gravely, she faced charges related to the death of Forrest Hayes. The latter charge was supported by the damning video evidence from the yacht, which showed her administering the fatal dose of heroin and her subsequent failure to assist Hayes or call for help. The arrest marked a significant breakthrough in the case, providing a measure of relief to Hayes' family and the community. It also underscored the dangers of illicit activities conducted through digital platforms and highlighted the resourcefulness of law enforcement in leveraging the same technologies to uphold justice. The months of tracking, planning, and executing the sting operation paid off, capturing a suspect whose actions had led to a tragic death and whose apprehension would now face the legal consequences of her actions. As the case against Alex Tichelman progressed, investigators delved deeper into her background and previous relationships, uncovering a pattern of troubling behavior and connections to other suspicious incidents. Tichelman's past was marked by a series of challenges, including severe struggles with substance abuse and tumultuous personal relationships, which seemed to have influenced her life choices significantly. Tichelman had been linked to a previous case where an individual died under circumstances eerily similar to those of Forrest Hayes. This prior incident involved another man who, like Hayes, had died of a drug overdose in her presence. In this earlier case, as with Hayes, Tichelman was suspected of being the one who administered the drugs, although direct evidence had been insufficient for any charges at the time. This pattern raised red flags for investigators, suggesting a possible modus operandi. Her troubled past began to unravel through interviews with acquaintances and a deeper examination of her online activities. Tichelman had a history of engaging in relationships with older, wealthier men whom she met through various online platforms. These relationships often involved exchanges where her companions provided her with financial support or gifts in return for her companionship, a lifestyle that frequently exposed her to the darker sides of affluent social circles. Tichelman's struggles with drugs were well documented among her social circle. She had been in and out of rehab several times, indicating a long-standing battle with addiction. These struggles affected her behavior and decision-making processes, possibly contributing to her actions on the night of Hayes' death. Further exploration of her life revealed a series of unstable and destructive relationships. Friends and former partners described her as someone who could be charming and engaging, yet deeply troubled and often manipulative. This complex personality made her relationships volatile and sometimes dangerous, both for herself and for those she was involved with. The investigation into Tichelman's background painted a portrait of a person who had frequently maneuvered through life in a way that skirted the edges of legality and morality. Her repeated involvement in scenarios that ended tragically suggested a pattern of high-risk behavior that culminated in the fatal night aboard Hayes' yacht. This background information provided critical context for understanding Tichelman's actions and behavior. It also posed significant challenges for her defense team, as prosecutors prepared to paint a picture of a woman whose troubled past and present actions made her a clear danger to others. Her previous encounters, particularly the one involving another death, became a pivotal part of the case against her, suggesting a possible predisposition to behavior that could lead to fatal outcomes. This complex tapestry of Tichelman's past and her interactions with Hayes formed the backbone of a legal argument aiming to demonstrate her culpability in his death. The arrest of Alex Tichelman and the circumstances surrounding the death of Forrest Hayes sparked a widespread discussion that transcended the immediate legal ramifications, touching on broader societal issues. The case peeled back the curtain on the darker aspects of Silicon Valley's seemingly pristine exterior, revealing a world where wealth and technological progress could sometimes mask a high-stakes lifestyle fraught with moral and ethical dilemmas. Public reaction to the case was mixed, with many expressing shock and dismay at the details as they emerged. People were particularly captivated by the way Tichelman and Hayes had met, through a website that facilitated relationships between wealthy older men and younger women. This aspect of the case highlighted the complex dynamics of online arrangements that often operate in a legal gray area, raising questions about the responsibility and safety of those involved. Legal experts and social commentators debated the implications of such platforms, questioning whether they should be regulated more strictly. The ease with which individuals could engage in secretive interactions that might lead to harmful outcomes called for a re-evaluation of internet privacy and safety laws. Critics argued that while adults are free to enter into whatever personal arrangements they please, there must be robust systems in place to prevent exploitation and to ensure safety. Furthermore, Tichelman's actions post-overdose, her failure to seek help for Hayes, brought to the fore discussions about moral responsibility. Should she be held accountable only for the act of administering the drug, or also for her inaction once it was clear Hayes was in distress? This aspect of the case emphasized the human element of the legal system, which often grapples with not just the letter of the law but also the spirit of what it means to act ethically and responsibly. Opinion on this matter is deeply divided. On one hand, some argue that Tichelman's behavior, though morally reprehensible, was a part of a broader context where both parties entered into a risky situation voluntarily. On the other hand, others see her failure to call for help as a clear violation of basic human decency, underscoring a dangerous lack of empathy and responsibility that should be met with stringent legal repercussions. As the case continues to unfold, it serves as a potent reminder of the complexities introduced by our digital lives, where online interactions can have very real and sometimes fatal consequences. The Tichelman case forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about wealth, technology, and morality in modern society. For more detailed analysis and updates on this case and others that shed light on the darker corners of Silicon Valley, consider subscribing to our channel. We dive deep into the facts, provide comprehensive legal perspectives, and offer thoughtful commentary on the cases that are shaping our digital and real worlds.